All right, looks like we're live. Hello and welcome to the 1059 Facebook Live, YouTube Live that I do most days. My name's Henry Beyer, and it's awesome to have you here. And awesome to have you replay viewers catching this later on. And this Facebook Live was inspired by a guy named Jeffrey Gitomer, and I just went on one of his Facebook Lives, and he is on like 337 since last March. He just, when quarantine and stay-at-home orders and things like that were in order sometime back last March, he just started doing Facebook Lives, and it was only supposed to last for a little bit, and now he's on day 337. And so I was inspired by him to hop on most days of the week. I can't hop on every day, but most days of the week, hop on at a rough, now 10:59 seems to be the sweet spot for me. And so hop on and talk about strong for life, being strong for life, what it means to be strong for life, what it takes to be strong for life. And January was starting month because in the theme, in sort of solidarity with making New Year's resolutions and starting things at the beginning of the year. And February has been about planning your health and fitness program. And today we are talking about reps and sets and rest. Sets, reps, and rest. Reps, sets, and rest. That's what we're talking about today, because this is one of the things that's at the heart of the matter of getting strong. I mean, there are many things, and we're on day 18 of February, which happens to be my mom's birthday. She turns 82 today. So send out some good, happy birthday wishes to my mom. And she's a great mom, and we can always use more love, can't we? So please, if you see this, her name's Wendy Beyer, just send her a virtual hug. Just send her some good loving from wherever you are. But so we're more than halfway through February, and we're finally getting to reps and sets. But there's a lot of things that go into planning your fitness program so that you achieve the results that you want to get. There's sort of what your actual overarching goals are, where you are today, what are the best types of exercises and lifts that you can do to ensure that you reach your goals. And all of these follow one after the other, right? So we have gotten to reps and sets. This is kind of a little bit of where the rubber meets the road. So like yesterday we talked about core exercises and a little bit about assistance exercises, but really the core exercises that should be a staple of your fitness program. And now we're talking about reps and sets and how many of those that you want to be doing to achieve your particular goals. But before we do that, we need to do our quote of the day. And today we are on E of the alphabet. So we've already gone through the alphabet once, and now we're back to E here. And today's comes from Albert Einstein. So life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Albert Einstein. Yeah. How true is that? Man, now he was he has some great quotes out there, right? And this is definitely a good one. As soon as you stop moving your bike, you topple over to the side. As soon as you stop moving forward, your life just begins to stagnate. And this is an important point with your health and fitness, and particularly I always say health and fitness because I think a large portion of going out for doing fitness is to improve health. That's a big portion of it, but not all fitness will improve your health. So I like to combine health and fitness together because of at least the perspective and the stance and the attitude and the mindset for Strong for Life is that our training is meant to help us live better and to have healthier lives, higher quality lives, etc. And so I like health and fitness to be together, though I don't talk as much about other aspects of health, such as nutrition and sleep and things like that, though those are certainly important aspects of this. I'm more focused on sort of the physical training aspect of your health and fitness. And I suppose at a certain level, you cannot talk about those things without talking about sleep and nutrition. And, there's so many different things that you can do to support your health and improve your health. And we're focused here at Strong for Life on, one aspect of that. But I just like to reiterate that the goals here are not just about fitness. They're also about health. So I like to talk about health and fitness. So in order to really maintain your health and fitness as you progress through life, it's something that you have to choose to do every day, because as soon as you stop doing any of this healthy stuff, then the whatever gains you've made start to be lost. They start to deteriorate. So you don't. So this is not a sort of. It's not the process is the destination, right? It's not like all of a sudden I'm thin and I will be thin forever. Or the weight loss industry is a huge example of that, where it's just people gain weight, they lose weight, they gain weight, they lose weight, they gain weight, they lose weight. It's just this massive yo-yo, and so many people struggle with that, and that's a really hard thing to get your hands around, or get your, that's a huge problem to solve for a lot of people, because I think a part of the belief is that once I'm thin, well, then that's just the way it's going to be. And it's just not the case. And unless you keep making the decisions to be thin, I'm going to put eat healthy in quotes here, or what is it? In quotes? Is it quotation marks? I always get confused about that, but that's neither here nor there, but putting that in there, because what is healthy eating? That's a whole nother can of worms that we're not even going to get into, but you have to continue making that choice. And the same with your fitness, whether you're if you're doing some cardio work, you're doing some strength training, all of these things, if you stop doing them today, then they will disappear. After a certain point in time, they will disappear. So this is not something that you just, okay, I can now lift this amount of weight or run this far in this amount of time, and so I'm done. And you stop. As soon as you stop, you start losing it all. It's a use it or lose it thing, right? And it goes right to what Albert Einstein is saying here. To keep your health and fitness, you just have to keep showing up and doing the work. It's just like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, to maintain what you're doing, to where you're at, and to keep improving, you just have to keep moving forward. So thanks, Albert Einstein, for that. And with all that said, now let's move on to not reps, sets, and rest. Okay. Because depending on what your goals are, you're going to want to organize your training with different numbers of reps, sets, and rest. So I'm going to be taking some of the numbers out of this book, Essentials of Strength Training and Conditioning, because you know why? Because they put it in, it's a textbook, right? So they're very good at putting things in the sort of easy, well, not all textbooks like this, but this one has good visual graphics, and it's just has very concise numbers here to follow. And this is a great place to from. Now, it's interesting. I was watching a Dan John YouTube, I think it was on YouTube video yesterday, and this exact topic came up. And so he was talking about how this comes from Dr. Thomas Delorme, and these numbers have really stood the test of time. But he says, for general purpose strength building and hypertrophy, 15 to 30 total reps per exercise is sort of the spot you want to be in, the range that you want to be in. We'll get more specific here in just a minute, but it's nice to sort of have an overarching idea of where you want to be, right? And so with 15 to 30 total reps, there's a lot of different rep set and rep schemes that you can use. For example, 5 by 5, 25, that's 25 reps, right? It's right in there. 3 sets of 5, it's 15. 3 sets of 10, that's 30. 3 sets of 8, that's 24, right? I mean, these numbers that if you have spent any time in a gym or, trying to figure out what's the right thing, these numbers are going to come up. 5 sets of 3, that's 15. So there's a lot of different ways to reach those 15 to 30 numbers. Some people will suggest doing lower numbers. I mean, I've just been reading a book, and the deadlift is a little bit different. So oftentimes the recommendation is just to do fewer sets for the deadlift because it has such a strong impact on the central nervous system. But we won't get into that topic today. But so first off, let's talk about sort of some of the sort of 4 big goals that people might have when lifting weights. Okay. So there's strength, right? Maximal strength or just strength. There's that. There's power. Power is strength displayed quickly. So basically, like, if the most you can lift off the ground is 100 pounds, that's sort of like your max strength. You can lift that weight one time, right? That's your max strength. Power is moving weight quickly. So if your max strength is you can lift 100 pounds, but you can take half of that, 50 pounds, and move it quickly, that's you're displaying power. And power is sort of the quality that is most sort of is what is probably one of the top qualities that you need when engaging in sports. It's just because unless you're weightlifting, actually powerlifting mostly, max strength is not the ultimate goal of your activity, right? So strongman competitions, there's a lot of max strength there. Powerlifting is like the quintessential max strength. That's what you're doing. Lift as much weight as possible in the deadlift, the squat, and the bench press. But for most other sports, power tends to be the quality that an athlete needs. So that's another quality. Hypertrophy is just adding muscle to your frame. And some sports like climbing, you want to have, you want to use have as little extra weight as possible So hypertrophy is sort of counterproductive, except to get stronger, you're going to have some degree of hypertrophy. So there's a balance there. But then, like, if you are a football player, especially, the like linemen and tight ends and players in those positions, then having a lot of muscle is not only about strength, but it's also about protecting yourself. It's about body armor. So the like wide receivers are going to be smaller, are not going to have as much muscle because speed is a criteria, right? You need to be fast. And marathon runners are not going to have a lot of oh my God, are not going. That's what happens when I talk too fast. But I get excited and I start talking fast. Marathon runners, that's an endurance sport and they don't want to be carrying any extra muscle. So marathon runners are thin. And this is one of the things that sort of bugs me. And is that people will say, don't do cardio because it doesn't burn fat. Okay. Have you ever seen a fat marathoner? And we're talking about, okay, possibility is that you have seen one, but those are in the sort of recreational. This might be someone who's running to lose weight, right? But at the elite level, at the world-class level, there's not a single fat, maybe that's the wrong word, overweight marathon runner, right? The thing is they're super lean. I mean, even their muscles are lean and thin, right? So those guys are thin. So if you're doing that exercise, if you're doing that type of exercise, that's thin, that aerobic exercise, the preferred fuel is burning fat. So when someone says don't do cardio because it doesn't burn fat, it may, that's just not true. They're trying to sort of manipulate the words so that it makes you feel better about not wanting to do cardio. But the fact is it's just not the case. Now, sprinters have more muscle mass because they need to go faster, right? But they can only do that for a short period of time. So they can carry more muscle on them to help them go faster, but they would never compete with an Olympic sprinter would never compete with an Olympic marathon distance runner because they have too much weight, right? I mean, that's part of it. But I mean, the reason all those marathoners are thin is because they only need enough muscle to get them to run that race at that 2-minute pace, 2-hour pace. Okay, so hypertrophy is another quality that people are after in their strength training. Muscular endurance is a third one, and this muscular endurance, yes, it does have something to do with like marathon distance running, but it's not quite the same thing in terms of what we're talking about with lifting weights, okay? With strength training. So let's first start with strength. So the ideal reps here for building strength are 1 to 6 reps per set. And then I'll tell you what and then the sets for strength are 2 to 6, okay? So like a 5x5 is right there, right on the money for building strength, right? 3x5, right on the money for building strength. 5 reps is really like an ideal number for building reps. So Pavel, who I've talked about before, he says that 5 rep range is sort of a sweet spot for building strength and some hypertrophy. He also says that rep range is where your sort of gains that you make are more durable. They last longer. The strength that you get in the lower rep range, 1 to 3, 1 to 4 reps, are they're more transient. You're like hitting those numbers so you can go to that powerlifting match or that weightlifting match, and you can hit your set a PR, set a world record, whatever it is, but then those gains are going to slide away quickly. When you're working on strength that you want to last over time, you want to be more in this 4 to 6 range. 5 is optimal. Okay. And that's for strength. Power is, you want your reps to be 1 to 5. Okay. 1 to 5. And you might have more sets. So the sets are roughly about the same, 3 to 5 sets for your power exercises. Okay. So, I mean, if you're doing like Mark Ripito, starting strength, I was doing his program. I think it was last spring. I tried his starting strength program, and the power cleans, he had 5 sets of 3. That was what you were doing. So you would get to your work set weight, and whatever that would be, then you do 5 sets of 3. And so these set numbers, this is an important point. These set numbers are for the, like, what would be your work set weight. So a lot of times what people will say is they'll give a single work set weight of, let's say, 225 pounds, right? I'm going to be doing my squat, 225 pounds. That's my weight. And so the person will do some warm-up sets, 3 or 4 warm-up sets, and then they'll do 3 work sets, 3 sets of 5. That's sort of how starting strength worked, right? 3 sets of 5, and those 3 sets were done at the same weight. There are other methods where your work set weights may change. They may be, they go, you might do, like there's a program that I'm doing right now, and that I have 2 weights. I have an 85, I have basically a 75% of 1 rep max weight and an 85% one max weight. So when I'm training, I might go back and forth between the sets. That's a different program, but some programs will be like, okay, the top weight of the day might not be the same for each one of those sets. It might change once you hit your work sets. But that's getting down. That's different from what we're talking about here. So sorry for that little bit of tangent. But the thing is these sets that we're doing are at the weight that your training weight for that day. Some call it the top weight for the day, the work set weight for the day. These are different terms you might come across. So you do your warm-ups, and then you might do 3 sets of 5 reps at 225 in your back squat. And that's the group of sets and reps that we're talking about here. So power is using fewer reps. And part of the reason why you're using fewer reps is because the lifts, the clean and jerk, and the snatch, which are which are the Olympic weightlifting lifts, they're technical, and you can't be lifting, you can't be doing as many reps and hope to maintain your technical skill for all of those reps. So they do fewer reps for power. Okay, hypertrophy. Then we're moving on to hypertrophy now. So hypertrophy is 6 to 12 reps. So this is where you're going per set, right? And the sets are 3 to 6. So the top end of sets is about the same, but you want to do a minimum of 3 to work on that hypertrophy. So that 3 to 5, Well, 3 to 5 is a little bit more on the strength ring. 3 by 8, there you have a strength and hypertrophy program right there, right? So it's not like as soon as you stop, as soon as you go over 6 reps, that you're not going to be building strength, because part of strength is cross-sectional area of the muscle. So the bigger the cross-sectional area of the muscle, the stronger it's going to be. So hypertrophy does build strength. It's just that once you get over that 6 rep range, you're more into hypertrophy than you are into pure strength training, right? You're still going to build strength. So that 3 by 8 range can be a really nice one for building strength and a nice amount of hypertrophy. So these are, you want to consider it based on what your particular goals are. Like if you're a rugby player, you're going to want to have some muscle on you because you don't have pads, right? So like you're going to want to be having some muscle and you want to be strong. So more hypertrophy might be the thing that you're going after. So hypertrophy is 6 to 12 reps. Okay. General rule there. Muscular endurance is on the low end, 13 reps and, going over greater than 20. So you can do more and more, right? In terms of muscular endurance. And again, your specifics are going to dictate, what that rep count is going to be, right? Now, certain types of muscular endurance can help strength, but imagine lifting 10 pounds 100 times, right? So that is muscular endurance, but lifting 100 pounds is different, right? So, it's not as hard to lift 100 pounds 100 times as it is to lift, and this is just 100 pounds is sort of is a lightish weight, but if you can't lift 100 pounds, you might be able to lift 10 pounds 100 times, but you might not be able to lift 100 pounds once. These are they're like totally different things. So those are the ranges. And for muscular endurance, your sets 2 to 3 sets for muscular endurance. So let's just go over that just one more time for you, since I added a lot of stuff. For strength, you're looking at under 6 repetitions per set and 2 to 6 sets. Okay. And those sets don't include your warm-up sets, right? Then power they have it broken down into 2 categories. I'm not going to break it down into that. 1 to 5 reps is for power, but for most people, 3 to 5 reps is going to be the range for power that you're going to want to work on, and 3 to 5 sets. And then hypertrophy is 6 to 12 reps per set with 3 to 6 sets. Okay. And remember, this is per exercise. And the sets again are your work sets, not your warm-up sets. And the other thing to mention is that these are core exercises. These numbers are for core exercises, not necessarily for your assistance exercises. Your assistance exercises, you want to be using a weight that you can do at least 8 reps with. And muscular endurance is greater than 12 reps, 2 to 3 sets. Now, rest is also important here. You want to, I'm going to put these now, as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to try and remember this today. As soon as I'm done with this, I am going to put these numbers in the comments so that you don't have to try and remember all of this stuff. And maybe I should have said that in the beginning, but then you would have just gone to the comments and wanted to listen to what I had to say. All right. So rest periods are important as well for these different types of goals. So again, remember that the goals are strength, power, hypertrophy, muscular endurance. So again, you're doing 6 reps of 2 to 6 sets, and you're going to take 2 to 5 minutes between sets. I mean, when you are that is like the most economical. If you're going for if you're going for, super, heavy efforts, you might take a longer period of time between this. But for economy's sakes, 2 to 5 minutes is that. And you sort of have to feel that out, right? Take a minimum of 2 minutes between your sets, but feel it out. Like if you don't feel quite ready and you have another heavy set, then give yourself a couple more minutes, right? Power, same thing. Power is 1 to 5 reps for 3 to 5 sets, and rest is 2 to 5 minutes. Okay. Hypertrophy is 6 to 12 reps, 3 to 6 sets, with 30 seconds to a minute and a half between sets. Okay. So you want hypertrophy. So basically, from strength to endurance, the time frame shortens between sets. Okay. Hypertrophy is 30 seconds to a minute and a half. And then muscular endurance is less than 30 seconds, less than or equal to 30 seconds. So you are doing 12 set. You're trying to build some muscular endurance. So you're doing some bench press, right? You pick a weight, you're doing 12 reps, 30-second rest, hit the next set, right? And that will help build muscular endurance. These are those general guidelines for reps, sets, and rest. Okay. And let's just wrap it up with going back to 2 points to be made to come back to here. The first one is the Delorme numbers of reps, 15 to 30 total reps per training session, per exercise, is going to be your sweet spot for building some strength and hypertrophy. Is probably the place where most people want to be. Okay. 15 to 30 total reps broken down into different set and rep categories. If you're going for strength, you're going to use more sets with fewer reps. If you're going for endurance, you're going to use more lighter weight, more sets, fewer reps. Fewer sets, not fewer reps. More reps, fewer sets. So like using these Delorme numbers for endurance, you would do a set of 15, or like you could do a set of 15 bench press, rest 30 seconds, do another set of 15, and there you have a strength endurance workout for your bench press. Okay. That's an example. Then the last thing is we're going to come back to the Albert Einstein quote: "Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving." Albert Einstein. When it comes to your physical fitness, you have to show up. You have to keep choosing to be fit every day. Once you achieve that beach body, this is the thing that I think people purposely don't talk about when they're like, achieve your beach body in 60 days or 30 days, right? With our boot camp. So you do that, and then you're like, okay, I'm there. I'm going to keep my beach body for the rest of life. It's not going to change. That's not the case. You have to keep coming back and showing up and doing the work. You have to use it or lose it. So those types of programs are popular, but At Strong for Life, we're talking about being strong for your life right now so you can do all the things that you love to do right now. And we're talking about being strong for life, for the duration of your life, so that you are able to stay independent, stay autonomous, keep doing all the things that you love for as long as you want to do them. Sure, maybe you won't be able to at 85 ski the way you can at 45, but at least you're getting out there and skiing, right? And doing that thing that you like to do, or hiking or climbing or whatever it is. And you have to do this physical stuff consistently and frequently in order to be able to keep moving, to stay on that bike. You guys have to stay on this process of getting strong and fit and healthy. And once you're into it, you just got to keep doing it, right? You just can't go for, well, I got my beach body, now I'm going to quit, right? It doesn't work that way. If you do that, everything that you work so hard to achieve will disappear. And as the Lindy effect says, the quicker you gain it, the faster it'll disappear. So that's it for today. Reps, sets, and rests. This is a critical component. It goes to what your goals are, and if your goal is hypertrophy and you're doing, 12, 15 sets of 15 reps at lightweight, it's just not going to happen. If your goal is strength and you're doing sets of 15 reps with a lighter weight, you're not going to get strong as you would if you did fewer reps with higher weight. So this is important stuff for and it's funny when I say this is important stuff, I get a little bit more of that serious. All of this is meant to be fun. To me, this is meant to be fun. Getting fit, getting healthy, doing the things you love is supposed to be fun. So I just want you to remember that. But there are sort of rules you got to abide by in order to achieve the goals that you want, right? So you just can't start doing something and be like, well, I was doing this for this amount of time and nothing happened, right? So strength training must not work. You got to be in the ballpark when you are trying to achieve these different types of qualities: strength, endurance, hypertrophy, power, or max strength, or just strength. So if you got any questions about any of that, you can always get in touch with me either through the comments or by sending me a message on Messenger or on YouTube. You're just going to have to be able to leave a comment. Also, I'm doing morning movement and mobility. I do these most days. It tends to be at 6:30 Mountain Time. And I do that most days. I show up, it's 30 minutes long or so, and we just do some mobility and flexibility work, which is something, this is one of those things like riding the bike. You got to keep doing it to keep it moving forward, to keep your balance. You have to do this stuff every day or most days of the week. Otherwise, it goes by fast. See you later. So you can join me for that. They're live. I just get on live and just start doing them. All you got to do is join. It's not a big deal. So hope to see you there, and we will see you next time, probably tomorrow, because it's Friday and we got Friday Kaizen coming up then. So thanks for being here, and we will see you then. Cheers. Have a great rest of your day.